Uh-huh.
to us per se.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you had me thinking about that, man. I was like, damn, that's very true.
Right.
And like we talked about like being black or whatever and stuff
Right.
like that. I mean, I don't know. You right though, like brown, but I guess when people say brown now, that's like everybody else, Hispanic people,
Everybody.
Indian people.
See, the thing is that we're human beings, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And we have to embrace that, man, because we share space with people, man, and at we don't have the right to tell people where to go, where to move, what to do. You know, as human beings, we should enjoy each other's space.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We got to enjoy each other's space and not force people to be a certain way. Because the whole thing is like with a child has a blank slate. You know what I'm saying? When you came into the world, when I came into the world, we know nothing. You're only behaving in a manner of the things that you collected as far as information that told you, okay, this is the way that a human being should behave. This is the way
Right.
that a black male should behave. You know what I'm saying? So that ideology I noticed over time, and I hit the record button, so you know, because I thought you was about to spit some fire, so I was like, let me go ahead.
Oh.
Ooh, we in the gym just to give a little intro because he didn't know I hit the record button because I felt like you started to touch on something that I really want to talk about, and you can give your perspective too.
Right.
But the whole ideology of what I noticed of everything of being black was, it's tied to being a slave. It's tied to being at the bottom of society. It's tied to being mistreated. You know what I'm saying? So why would I want to align myself with that? You know what I'm saying? So that's my thought process. And I want to get people, you don't have to think like me, but I know my hat is black. I'm
Hmm.
not. You're not. Your hair is black. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So first off, who's tricking us and why? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And if that's the case, forget that or whoever's doing that manipulation. Once you find out it's some manipulation going on, it's up to you as a human being, not necessarily to fight the system, but to rewire your life the way that you want. Because we can't do nothing with the system unless people unite together and be like, okay, this is what we want. And what the world is looking like right now, I see splits and divides.
Right.
So what I tell people now is just trust yourself. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Because
Right.
unless people are willing to sit down with themselves and listen to their thoughts and listen to what's going on inside of them, then you're just going to be out there looking at the news, looking out where you're going to be looking outward for all your information. But one thing that they never taught us, we didn't learn it in school, we didn't learn it at home, that you can get information by just sitting your tail down, just sitting down. Things come to you, thoughts come to you. Tell me that don't happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you get information as a human being, not people bombarding you with stuff. So that's what I say about go within, because sometimes you might have a thought and idea, just say like you produce music, something gave you that thought and idea. You know what I
Right.
mean? And you might sit down and like a cool tune come to you and you
Right.
put it
You put
together.
it
But
down.
that's just from
Right.
you sitting, being peaceful, just being at ease with yourself. You know what I mean? And just receive and just letting life, in a sense, come to you. You know what I'm saying? And then you go off of that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my whole mindset of, that's why I have a guide to elevate your mindset, is to get people to change their mindset and to understand that, okay, this mindset was given to you. Okay, so now I want to choose my own mindset. So this is how I'm gonna go about it. And I tell
Right.
people to just turn off the media, turn off the social media, forget what everybody, sometimes even forget what I'm telling you. Listen to yourself, because that's your God. God, you don't know, I won't know what
Hmm.
he's telling you, or he, she, or whatever spirit, whatever that voice you hear within
Right.
inside of you is for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Been trying to like focus on getting those distractions out, and being able to you really have to like make time to listen to yourself almost if you don't, if you don't actually if you're not conscious of it.
Right.
Right.
Right. And you definitely have to do that. And since we started, you know what I'm saying? And if I have to edit and chop in and edit and chop it, whatever, we just started off with a conversation. Like I
Right.
said, boom, we in the gym. Welcome to the gym. Have my little bro over here. We have some deep conversations. So I just kind of wanted to, record our conversation and, share it with the world. And hopefully we can enlighten some people and elevate some mindsets at the same time. and
Sure.
he's a very talented, young brother. I'll let him introduce himself. His name is Richard. You can see it on the screen. So
For sure.
go
Yeah.
ahead, bro.
I'm Richard. I I guess you could consider me somewhat of an amateur musician in that regard. I guess that's what some people know me for. But right now, just really on a journey, trying to figure out what it is, what my thing is gonna be, what the thing is that's for me.
Hmm.
Trying to just been listening to a lot of different stuff, but try to take that time, like you said, to really listen to yourself, sit with your thoughts and stuff like that.
Right. And this is a brother from the same mother. We actually have the same mother. That's actually, my little bro. And, he has his journey. And you can tell if you can kind of like summarize your short life. He's 22, he's young. Your
Right.
short life and your transition in just the last few years. If you want to sum it up, what can you tell people about your journey and what you experienced, where you've been, where you are right now?
Sure, yeah. Like I kind of came up through playing sports, out there in Florida. Maybe not to the same level as you. You know what I'm saying? Didn't get a chance to go to college and enjoy that experience, but
Hmm.
after high school, ended up going to the military for a couple years. Wanted to see what that was about. I got a chance to do that. I moved out to California here, and so now really just trying to figure out, like I said, what my purpose is gonna be, and you
Okay.
know make something happen for sure.
Make something happen. And we had some conversation about you traveling and seeing the world. Like, so how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think once you expose yourself to, like, outside cultures and stuff like that, it makes it a lot easier for you to be open-minded, for you to accept other ideas, because you're able to see the way that other people live,
Hmm.
if, and like, for real, not through a TV screen, like
Love it.
with your eyes,
Yes.
and that's important, because it really helps you put it into perspective. Like, okay, maybe you're used to something, but if other people do it this way over there, then that must mean, this can't be the only way. So I got to be able to find something else, right?
Love it. I love
Yeah,
it. I love it.
absolutely.
And sometimes I feel like, maybe I'm wrong that, I look around and people put themselves in a box. And what you said, you hit it right on the head because a lot of people would sit there and take reality from television. How can that be
Mm,
how can that be your reality?
right.
You want to actually step in it and see it and touch it and feel it, and interact with it, and I think people need to, I don't want to say need to, but that's a good mindset to have, to go about life, because I guess if you go about life that way, it'll be hard for people to fool you, hard to be tricked by, the news and the media or whatever's going on, or
Absolutely.
you won't even know that stuff is going on. So what's your journey like right now? Because you said you kind of shut things down at this moment.
Yeah, right now I just kind of really been in that process, trying to cut back on the social media a lot, trying to put the phone down some, really just get in touch with myself, kind of remember the things that I like to do. You spend so much time on your phone, all of a sudden, you're only using the internet for entertainment and stuff like that. You're not really getting what you thought you would get out of it, type of stuff.
Right,
Yeah, so
right.
right.
So what happens when you just say like you're browsing through your phone for entertainment? What type of value are you getting from those things when you do that, or do you gain value?
I think something that I heard, like they use the phrase infotainment, like you're looking for information, but
Right,
really it's also entertaining as well. And like, I'm sure I watched plenty of very informative videos, but like, in terms of retention,
right,
and actually getting some out of it, there's probably very little. Really, just you look up at the clock, and however long that video was, that time is now gone.
gone, gone, and you definitely you can't get it back. All right, so
Right.
let's go back to the sports journey. I wrote some stuff down I want to talk about, and you have a very unique perspective on sports. And I don't necessarily feel like it's a right or wrong. I feel like in the world we live in now, people should speak how they feel, and there's nothing wrong with that. It
Right.
seems like we're in a world now like people are getting attacked for speaking their minds if they're not
Right.
with a certain group. And I don't agree with that because we all can grow and learn from each other because your perspective might be a little different from mine. And just like I can gain insight just from even having a conversation. with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So how do you feel? Just we grew up in the Black community. We both are Haitian, you know, and we grew up in an area where sports was heavy, like especially football.
Yes,
Grew up in Florida.
absolutely.
Football was like God.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Correct.
So how do you feel about your experience playing sports or experience with your friends or whatever you think about it?
Man, it's crazy. I was actually talking to some friends today, some of my friends from California. They were telling me about like playing tetherball and stuff at school. I was telling them, I was like, man, we had tetherball poles at school. We never played no tetherball. We was playing basketball or
Same
playing football.
here. Same,
We was playing
same.
basketball or playing football. And they was like, oh, it rained outside. We played dodgeball. Hey, it rains outside. You play basketball or you play indoor
Football.
football. You
That's
know what I'm
it.
saying? It's
That's it.
crazy. It's really, and I
Did y'all
never
play throw up
realized.
tackle? Do y'all still have throw up tackle?
Man, we was, you play two-hand touch, but you know what I'm saying? You know how that goes.
Yeah, yeah,
You know how
yeah,
that goes. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
hmm
but
So
yeah.
if, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like coming from that sports background, it I wouldn't say it consumes you, but like, it's a culture thing. So like, your friends do it, you do it, so it becomes like normal. Yeah.
hmm
Right.
Right. So do you think that's a good thing, bad thing, or what? Like, how do you feel about that?
I think playing sports, I mean, as a young kid, like it's you get a lot of like interpersonal experience like with people and stuff like that. I think playing sports is definitely valuable. Like it's a good time. You know what I'm saying? It builds like physical fitness. I know you talk about fitness a lot. That's something that you incorporate into the stuff you do as well. Yeah, but I think also you can kind of lose sight of like, long term
hmm
stuff. A lot of people get caught up trying to play sports their whole life.
Right. And that's very big in the community. We talk about, if you want to call it a Black community or whatever you want to
All right.
call it. But, like I said,
You could say like our community.
yeah, our community. Because I'm
Right.
brown. I'm going to run with that. I'm running
Okay.
with that. I'm
For
telling you.
sure.
Just within our community, I understand. Like,
Hmm.
it's like this or nothing. This or nothing. And I wonder why. And just like almost we can have the conversation about the music, not saying that like you might get your opportunity, and you kind of in a sense know, because like even for me, like going to a smaller school and this that, I knew my shot was just like that was almost non-existent in a sense to make it to the highest level.
Right.
And
Okay.
I played on a team because I played Division II ball. Of course, guys, everybody still had aspirations of going to the NFL, but we were
Right.
on a Division II school team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not a big one at that. Not one that's an NFL factory type, like a Carson Newman or those
Right.
type of schools who put in guys in the NFL. You like
Right.
really had a long shot coming out of St. Aug. But guys had aspirations of going to the NFL. Now, why within our community, why do kids get pushed that way? Do you what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, like that hero factor, the positive influences for a lot of young guys in our community are, the people that you see on TV. So that's gonna be like, your sports stars, the people that get press, you know what I'm saying? So those guys, you kind of aspire for that. That's like the pinnacle,
Right,
at that, I guess I could say at that age, but really, 17, 18, if you've been thinking that same way, that's where you at with it.
right, right.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that. And I always say, like, my last video, I say your perception creates your reality. And of course, I was young too, and I had a lot of people that I used to love watching, like a Jerry Rice. Dan Marino was one of my favorite players. I explained one of the kids I was training there about Richmond Webb. I used to watch him. He was Dan Marino's left tackle. That was the reason why I wore seven. I think he wore 78. That was the reason why I wore 78.
Okay.
Because of Richmond Webb. And we would watch these guys, but in a sense, like, you put yourself in a box because it's just that community. This is it. So you think this is life, and like you don't even think because you're a kid, because you're in a bubble and you're like, okay, this is my only path. And then once it ends, it's just like your world just ends. So my thing is why are the kids in that community only getting a certain perspective? It's like it's on sports music. Sports music.
Mm,
Sports music is way
right.
more than life, boss.
And then the
And I love
people.
sports.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So you can elaborate on your thoughts on how you feel about that.
No, yeah, and I was gonna say like aside from even like sports and music, like whatever the people around you, that the closest person to you that that you can look up to is doing as well, and I mean the reality of the situation is most people in our community come from like inner city places, maybe rougher spots, you know what I'm saying? So the people that they're looking up to, they might not necessarily be doing anything, that's constructive either,
Mhm.
so you don't really have no other like people to look at for that.
Yeah, and I think the kids, of course, get like with with the media push. As far as like when it comes to music and stuff like that, it's like you get a certain lineup of people, and just like the sports guys, because I know watching sports, we love Mike, we love LeBron, we love all these guys but it's guys that can ball. Like the whole thing is what I notice about basketball is if you put because I'm not gonna lie, I do the little daily fantasy stuff for money
Right,
sometimes where you got
right,
to pick you want to pick the top player. Dude, if James Harden is not playing and his backup, right? And they put the ball in his hand, and Westbrook is not playing. They were like, the backup is a scorer, is the next shooting guard. They put the ball in his hands. He can drop 40 on your head.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? All those guys can ball, but they
right.
choose certain guys to put up on a pedestal, like a LeBron, like a Michael. These
Really?
are the guys like a Kobe. You know
Right.
what I mean? And they
Okay.
put them up here, and they be like, okay, here's your role model.
Okay. Oh, correct. I see. Yeah, absolutely. Right, right, right. Because they
Why
put
is
you in
that?
their face,
You said
right?
what?
They put them in your face. Absolutely.
They put them in your face. They put them on the billboards. They put them on tater chips. They put them on food. They put them everywhere.
Correct. Yeah.
And kids are like the biggest consumers because like just say the younger kids because they have disposable income. Dude, they're not working. They just say, Mom, I want this. Mom, I want that. Mom, I want this. Mom, can I
You
get
call
this?
it disposable.
Yeah. They're
Because
not
you don't have to
working,
work
dude.
for it. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They're not working. They're not working. So the parents, you have their money. You have to pay the bills. You have to put food on the table. The kids, the money they have, what are they doing with it? If they're not just saving the money, you know what I'm saying? They go get the next LeBrons or go get the next Jordans. Why do they shoes cost so much? I like
Right.
to ask you that
Oh
question. Why
man.
do you think the shoes cost so much?
Ooh, and the crazy thing is the shoes go up about $20 every year. See? So in high school, you know what I'm saying? When I was that's back when it was hot, when everybody was in the shoes, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I had my Jordans, I had my couple pairs, I was doing my thing, making my moves. Yeah, they just kept every year the price was going up, but every year people was standing outside. I was like, you know, I might just go down and get some, some wingtips or something and call it a day. I think I'm good on
Yo,
those.
you said people were standing outside of a line for some shoes.
Hey man,
So my
right.
question, go ahead, go.
I was just gonna say right now, it won't happen. But if you told them they could, they'd probably still be standing in line.
Right. So my question is, so if you see a guy all over the billboards, McDonald's commercials, Sprite commercials, shoes, people standing in line in shoes, as a kid, why would you not want to be that person?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the
Absolutely.
perspective is made like, okay, this person is God. That's what you might as well say.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, so for a kid, they're not gonna know any better. But like I said, that's why I said perception creates your reality. The perception is this person is like King
Exactly.
James.
Okay, I was gonna say even right down to the there it is.
Right?
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah. Mm.
So like the whole thing is with society right now is the leaders and stuff and I'm kind of out of it too because I'm not watching media. I don't watch the same things that people watch. I might
Mm.
watch some stuff that enlighten me. I watch my stuff. I want to create stuff, you know what I mean? But I knock my hat down. Bro.
Oh man,
You gotta put it back up right there.
gotta keep
but
that
um
for sure.
but just like going back to what we're talking about, it's gonna be hard for a kid to really understand, like, this person is just human, like you and me. You know that? They just put the ball in his hands. They feel like he's more marketable. He's the most marketable person that's in that area of the pool of players that they have. This is gonna be blasphemy. This is gonna be blasphemy to people that hear that every other person on the bench can do the same thing he do.
Some people not gonna like that.
They're not gonna like that. But it's all about the
That's a lot of barbershop conversations.
It's all about the opportunity that's given. Because the more I watch sports, I played it. You know what I mean? So it's always the next guy up. It's always the next guy training his butt off. You know what I'm saying? It's guys that can ball with LeBron James because, of course, he's not the only one doing that. He's not the only James Harden. It's not the only all those guys. It's all about the opportunity. But the picture that's painted, the kids won't never see that. People don't even see that. They think he's king. You get what I'm saying? And then Steph come up, you get a Steph Curry, and then where do these other guys come from? You know what I'm saying? Where do these other guys come from? They there. It's just opportunity. So if you tell Steph, go ahead, shoot from half court, he's a professional. Of course he's going to start drilling them. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about opportunity. Oh, this kid, Margaret, he making shots. You know what I'm saying? So it's giving them the opportunity. And then they paint that picture for a kid. So what would you tell a kid in an inner city, you know what I mean, that wants to pursue sports as a career? What type of advice would you give them? Just say if you had a child, or you the last one, but just another brother just popped up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what type of advice would you give them? Because I know you was, in a sense, not necessarily following my footsteps because that's what you wanted to do. You know, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play like Poppy. That's what he wanted to do. Even though you see somebody in front of you do it, that kind of gives you an extra push. Oh, my God, I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? So, but what would you tell a kid that's pursuing sports or want to pursue sports? What would you tell them?
I think that's an interesting case because like I was gonna ask you too, like it's there's not as many I guess role models to be seen in other roles, so what can you tell them? But I guess I would say, seems almost cliche to say like explore other interests, but also I mean keep the school tight, in all honesty, because don't let that fool you, just from the standpoint of like being able to get yourself to the next level and like being able to do something with that opportunity, regardless of if you're able to continue playing sports, but definitely like, explore other hobbies also, like, and use that work ethic to like get better at, maybe like you could do football and you might have one other thing that you do that you're also very good at, just something that's different, just to establish kind of balance,
Right. Yeah. My advice is, I always say this to all athletes, if this conversation is going to turn to that, is that sports is a platform. You know what I mean? It's a platform. It is a game. It's not real. It's still a game. You're still playing with balls, throwing it up and down, see who can score more points. That's called a game. People just actually get paid to play the game. It's a platform that you can use to propel your life to do whatever you want. Whatever you want. Because if you're that great, you can put it down and be like, okay, I want to do something else. And be fine. But of course, guys are not going to do that because, they have those big contracts. And a lot of people, and me and my friend had this conversation, get caught up in that world, like when they become a professional and they lose sight of like being a human being. And they forget that they actually have other talents. Right. You know what I mean? So they just kind of just go full-fledged. And then once that ends, like I said, the whole world crumbles. You know what I mean? And so just say within our community, what are things that we can teach kids to help them, guys, kind of in a sense, expand their minds to other things, but not just sports. So their world doesn't come crashing down, where they understand like, hey, this is a game. And if you get an opportunity to play it, great. This is a platform to propel you to do whatever else you want to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So how can we start changing that perspective? Because I see those guys, they're playing in bubbles right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not. it's hard for me to get in it right now, boss. Like with everything going on, like I love sports, I love basketball, but that bubble stuff, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested right now.
It's a very interesting situation they got going
It
on.
is.
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very unique situation at a very unique time because you never want to tell people what to do. But just say, for instance, if all this stuff going on was real, how is that helping anybody if not putting those players in danger?
Mm-hmm.
If that's real, I'm just saying because I don't believe in that crap. But anyways, like like how is this gonna help everything that's going on in society? Tell me, I might be wrong. Tell me how I might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if if putting the players back on the floor is gonna do it. I don't know
Right.
if that's gonna bring us world peace, but I think
World peace. Is that a
yeah,
such thing though? You think? Do you think it's a thing that
nah.
we can gain like peace? But